There have obviously been four cornerbacks you've been using a lot in games. Did the issues with Apple last week, obviously he was targeted and gave up several catches, has that made you rethink whether to insert Kelvin Joseph, Perry Nickerson, or Cam Smith in Eli's spot in the rotation? Is that something you're considering, or do you remain fully committed to Eli Apple being one of our top four corners at this time?
It's a long question first. For a simple question. Yeah, that.
I want to give you all three of your other options.
Barry doesn't do simple questions.
He does simple questions. He just has a hard time spitting them out. It's always something we're looking at, obviously. Yeah, Eli had a tough game for him. He did contribute some good plays. And, right now, this early in the season, we're going to consider all options.
Vic, we talk about players having quote-unquote revenge games. I'm curious if you have any special feelings in regards to Broncos week.
No, I really don't. Every game we play in this league, 1 of 16, 17 now, is equally important. And, I'm sure when I see some of the people there that are still there that I know, say hello and you think back a little bit. But I enjoyed my time there. There's still about 15 or 16 players that are on the team from when I was there. Wish them nothing but success, except this week. And really don't look at it much different. If the game maybe had been in Denver, maybe.
Short question. Is Andrew Van Ginkel going back inside, or do you want to use him at both going forward?
Both.
Sean Payton had talked this week and mentioned that he talked to Justin Simmons and Kareem and trying to get some ideas of your tendencies. How much does that change what you do, knowing that they have some guys that know you a little bit?
Not at all. It's if you get too worked up in that stuff, you'll just get twisted. You just treat it like any other game, do the things you think you have to do to win schematically, and you go at it. Those storylines, they're juicy, but they're not as effective as you think they are.
Vic, what do you feel like you've gotten out of Bradley Chubb through these first couple games of the season?
Yeah, I think Bradley had a really good game this past week. Obviously made the big play on the strip fumble, big play in the 2-minute drive to get the sack, and then on the last play, pressure. So it was really nice to see him have a good, productive game, and hopefully that kick starts him to a great season.
Did you use that play that he forced the fumble on as kind of teaching tape in the defensive meetings?
Absolutely.
Is it a coincidence that he's played better since you've gotten here than?
I don't know that. I wasn't here last year, and I didn't watch him play hardly his plays last year.
Reason for that, I guess, usually when a new coordinator comes in, usually they might try to get a feel for their players.
Not really. I kind of go the other way because I want to draw my own conclusions and not be clouded by anything that happened in the past. And now if it's a guy that's a free agent that we have to make a decision on whether we want back or not, and management wants my opinion, obviously I'll go do that. But guys that are on the team and we knew we were going to be on the team in camp, I want to start fresh with them.
I've read or heard somewhere that you made a call to Andrew Van Ginkel. I don't know if this is like a wives' tale or a lie. When he was a free agent, saying that you would like him back. Is that accurate? And what do you think that Van Ginkel does bring to this defense? Like,
Yeah.
why did he have such a?
That is accurate. I did call him. I just liked what I saw. That's the example there. He was a free agent, so I did watch him, and I liked what I saw. I saw some versatility. I saw a good football player, tough guy who's smart and instinctive, and wanted him back.
Xavier Howard, Pro Bowl player and veteran, but I believe he's got 3 penalties, 2 pass interference and an illegal contact. Were they all legitimate calls, and is that a point of concern, or is that just, that's football?
Yeah, I think there was 4 of them in the first 2 games, and yeah, it's a concern. You got to be able to cover without fouling, to use a basketball term.
Coach, how does a quarterback like Russell Wilson, who can not just extend on scrambles but also design runs, how does that challenge a defense?
It's challenging. Anytime you're playing a mobile quarterback, you have to defend two plays when they call a pass, the one they called in the huddle and the one he might create. So it's challenging. It is.
With Phillips out, you went Van Ginkel over Ogba for the majority of times. Worked out well, obviously. Van Ginkel played out of his mind. What can Ogba do to improve his chance to get more reps?
Just keep improving in every facet of the game, which I think he is, and he's committed to doing. And he'll get more snaps.
So you all have been, as you have been a lot in your career, I guess the word would be selective with blitzes. Vic, do you think the more selective a coordinator is with blitzes, the better chance it generally has of working?
You know, in certain games, yes. In other games, maybe not. Yeah, you want to pressure when you want to and not feel like you have to as a last resort.
Last week we were talking about the run defense coming off the Chargers game. You guys responded pretty well, 88 rush yards. What changed in your view?
We played better. Number one, I think we had the mindset to stop the run. We took on blocks a little better. Just had that little more edge that you need to have to play the run better. And we played the run good. You know, it was, by my count, 20 carries for 63 yards. They got some quarterback scramble runs, which I know statistically are rushing yards, but they're not in my mind.
What was the difference between David Long week 2 and David Long week 1?
He played more, because of the injury to Phillips, and he responded and did a nice job for us.
Did he do anything better? Spotting the ball or getting to the ball, or
he just played more solid, and the mental errors and technique errors were limited, and hopefully that's something that will continue to improve.
Package I noticed, I think it was a pressure package where you had Raekwon as like a D end and Bradley over the right guard. I was curious with Raekwon, just we usually know him as an interior run stuffer guy, but what have you seen that made you confident kind of moving him out in that situation?
Well, it's just the front we use sometimes that one of the tackles will kick out to be in position, and he happened to be in the game at that time. It could have been Sealer too. So, yeah, occasionally we like to put a big guy out on the end.
It looked like Deshaun Elliott played well last week. In your mind, because you know that Brandon Jones has established NFL body work, would you like to weave him in at some point, or is it you're thinking that if Deshaun continues to play well, there's no need to take him out of the game?
Both. Yeah, we'd like to get Brandon going. The big thing with Brandon is he missed the entire offseason. He missed not all of training camp, but most of training camp. Did not play in any preseason games. And he just needs to catch up. And, when you're back there, if you're not honed up, they're not just 6-yard gains. They're big ones. So we're giving him more and more practice reps every week. And I'm confident he'll be ready to play soon here.
Along those lines, how valuable is it to have, a guy like Deshaun who can play free and kind of open up to Javon to do a lot of different things all across the field?
Yeah, you need two good safeties. And right now, I think Deshaun played the best game he had for us last week. Now, you'd say we only had 2 games, but he played in the preseason pretty good amount. And hopefully he'll be able to build on that.
Looked like Cater played pretty well again, whether it's blowing up that screen or in the slot or outside. You got Jerry Jeudy this week, obviously. What did you see from Cater in this year as he's continuing to evolve his game?
He's playing good for us. He plays both corner and nickel. He's played less corner these first 2 games because we were playing a lot of nickel. But he's starting at the corner position in our base package. And I have very good confidence in him at either position. And he's played well these first 2 weeks, no doubt about it.
how is Cam Smith progressing as far as playing from scrimmage?
He's progressing. He got more practice reps yesterday. We'll continue to try and get him practice reps, and hopefully when he's called upon, he'll be ready to play.
What's a staple or something to know about Sean Payton's approach to offense?
He's always run a very balanced offense. You know, balanced meaning run pass. He's not a guy that runs the ball just because he knows he has to. Sometimes he enjoys running the ball. He's always had a good mix. I think he's one of the better play callers in the league in the last 20, 30 years. He does a good job calling the game, and I think they're vastly improved offensively.
Vic, what stands out to you about Cater's tackling ability, and in all your years of coaching, where does he rank among tackling cornerbacks?
I don't. He's a good tackling quarterback. Where he ranks, I don't know. You got to let me sit down and think about that for a while. There's a lot of corners in 37 years. But he's done a good job tackling. I think the big thing with tackling is mindset and technique. You know, you got to want to tackle, and he likes to tackle.